What the fuck is this? The 7th? 8th iteration now? Or another small pocket within it? Those fucking madmen at the Department of Leviathan. Have they figured out communications yet? Everyone here at Heather Woodhills seems to be sleeping. Fucking awake! Completely. Unaware. You know? I wonder if the spreading corruption had its way. What it would even begin to fucking look like. If something, what they would look like. If they brought something in this world that's not supposed to be here. I've been on the outskirts for a while. Everyone tosses me off as fucking crazy. Crazy. Well, let's check in on their progress now. And see what's bound to fucking happen.
I hate to bother you in this beautiful retirement place you've set up for yourself, but Agent Greg, we have a proposition. We really need you again. Now, Agent Greg, we really need you to hear us out. We got a really bad situation over at Heatherwood Hills, and, you know, people are dying. We need you to go over some case files.
You have any idea what I've been through?
Now, hold up. Now, I can figure this out. We can negotiate over it.
You know what? I think I'll just show you something. We've been working on it for a long time. Come on. Come on.
Well, was it worth it? I built this bridge you're standing on right here for my own pleasure. But then the government, the city hall had to get involved, and they tried to take it away from me. Despite all the loopholes, despite all the precautions I've taken, they tried to take this bridge away from me. And for what? Not to mention, I got shot in the arm on duty. I didn't choose to do that. And I fell into a bootleg experimental batch of calypso. And the only thing I've got to show for it is this. The ability to teleport whenever there's a calypso sale.
I understand. I think what they did to you on the force is despicable. But we're thinking about pulling Agent Jimmy back in.
Hi, I'm Joey. I'll be your narrator for this evening. Let me provide some explanation here. As you know, we are in a moment of the Leviathan universe, officially the 7th iteration, a world where a small percentage of the ruling class are aware through various archaeological digs of an entity named Leviathan. The thing is, this being is neither alive nor dead, not conscious or unconscious. It's merely some function our meat computer can't ever comprehend. The closest I can give you in terms of an explanation is that its function is playing out several dimensions above us, and it manifests itself in our realm as something you can interact with, something that replies and seems self-aware but is not. Imagine pushing a cube that you can hold in your hand into a lower two-dimensional plane. Then let's suppose two-dimensional beings see this cube. They would only see width and height, but not depth. Leviathan is something much, much more complex, running several layers above us. Its expression in our world, although simplified, looks as if it's a living, thinking thing from beyond. But that's the great folly of cults and organizations that form around it. They strive in vain to live a life based on something they have severely misunderstood. So that begs the question, where is the intention coming from? The acts they carry out in the name of this entity, where does it come from? I don't have an answer to that, but I can provide a theory. This higher function playing out in our world is so incomparable with the human mind that when it touches the nature of man, very strange and catastrophic things can happen. But that's a story we can dive into another time. The task at hand is Greg and Jimmy in retirement from law enforcement. Greg finally found a large piece of land in the mountains, built a small cabin, and was enjoying retirement after catching a bullet in his last case. But as he continued construction, the bureaucratic institution ruling his district flagged his construction on a bridge he needed for his driveway. A small creek ran through his property, so he built a simple but effective bridge across it. It wasn't long before the state sent a guy out half his age with a net and a microscope that eventually determined it was a natural stream and that he couldn't simply have a box culvert or a large corrugated pipe.
Hello, I'm your sub-narrator, Jack, not to be confused with the main narrator or Jimmy's internal monologue. Now that that's out of the way, let me take this one, Joey. Greg went to City Hall, as we know, to fight this code violation, but the city councilman said, "No, you must build Class A interstate bridge at your expense." But he didn't know what Greg had up his sleeve. The sponsorship loophole. Seth said an impersonation of the councilman was important. I'm done. Take it from here, Joey.
At his own expense, he was expected to hire engineers to construct a large reinforced interstate bridge with a dirt bottom to ensure invertebrates could safely travel across. Now, the kicker is that just upstream, about a mile away, the city had a box culvert going under several roads on the same stream, but that a different office governed road bridge construction. His specific problem fell through the regulation cracks since his was on private land. And even more infuriating is that all the locals knew this not to be a natural stream, but water runoff from a local gas station several miles away that the city put in decades ago to manage water runoff. But the tax man had found Greg, despite his careful efforts to take care of the local invertebrates on his own and the very low impact he had environmentally. Greg was faced with fines and a massive project to rebuild his bridge. Having to think fast, he looked down one morning during his coffee routine and noticed several empty bottles of Calypso lemonade floating toward his bridge from the local gas station. An idea formed. He rushed to his local codes building and found what he was looking for. A small Klaus that stated a corporate sponsorship for new construction in his area did away with certain jurisdiction power the city had. A small clause that stated a corporate sponsorship for new construction in his area did away with certain jurisdiction power the city had. An old leftover tax incentive the city put in to encourage growth. He decided to go to City Hall and fight this. He sat before a panel of district representatives laying out his case, revealing to them that he had acquired a Calypso lemonade sponsorship and that the large corrugated pipe he installed was covered in the beverage company's decals. He did it. He beat City Hall. They could do nothing. He had bested them. Now, let's fast forward. The agents have Greg on the hook, and now they will try to recruit Jimmy, who is a little bit more nomadic than Greg.
Hello. This is Jimmy's internal monologue, not to be confused with the main narrator. Remember that. So that's me, kicked out of the force, wandering the rainy streets. But at least I had Mexican short round by my side. Mijio eating cyberpunk noodles while 2 Coronas are shotgunned to my belly. I didn't have a care in the world. Little did I know my life was about to change.
Agent Jimmy, unfortunately we have a case for you and we need you back.
What exactly are the details, and maybe I'll consider it.
Well, it's a strange one. It's a series of puppet murders.
Why would I give a shit about puppets?
There's a lot of people dying, Jimmy, and the bottom line is you're our last hope and we need your help.
If we're going to discuss this further, we need ice cream.
We can do ice cream.
Now, here is where we started running into money issues, so certain scenes will be me talking over the storyboard art. As the detectives are now both committed to the case, they both land in Heatherwood Hills. Meeting face to face in the terminal, there was silence. Not much needed to be said. After some time, they shake hands and proceed to get a taxi together. It's kind of gay.
Jimmy, we need to go.
You know I love this piano, right?
And I love your playing, but we got more important discussions at hand.
It's broken, but it still works with a little bit of practice.
We all are, Jimmy. We all are.
We have a big issue here, boys. Somebody is going around and they're killing multiple people. But the problem is there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints, and there's no physical evidence left behind from the killer. But here's where it gets really weird, is some of the victims have got tiny hand bruises on their arms, and the crime scenes either have nylon stuffing, little suits left behind, little googly eyes, and we need Greg and Jimmy to figure out the hows and the whys. And we need to stop killing our citizens.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Do you want to look over the case files over some beers?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright, let's go.
Sorry for the corrupted audio. It was fixed as best as possible.
Down in the swamp, lands whispers in the dark. Detectives found fallen grace, solving for his heart.
Well, that was a weird debriefing from the big boss today, but tell me, what brought you here, my man?
To this bar?
No, what's happened in your life? What's your story, man?
Oh. I found that cult that I told you about. There's something evil in the air. English? Espanol? Hijo. ¿Cómo te llamas? Te llamo puto maricón? Hijo. Soy tu mamá nuevo. Ándale, hijo.
You finally waked up, Holmes? Oh man, you blacked out, that's it. Seems like you got a superpower, Holmes.
We have to burn it to the ground. All of it. destroyed one of the buildings and saved a kid. Somehow it's related to some higher ups, so they kicked me out. All that shit for nothing.
Happens to the best of us.
What about you?
Well, I was just trying to build a bridge, enjoy my retirement, move on with my life. But you know, City Hall had to get involved. That's what they do. But it was one of my last jobs. I felt I went to an illegal Calypso manufacturing ring. Freeze! Huh? You're running an illegal Calypso manufacturing operation.
What?
How do you plead? And fell inside it, and crazy things have happened, and they're gonna get even crazier.
I bet.
Hey, I just had a couple of questions referring to the case. You told me to talk to you. You know anything about what's going on with that?
I don't know anything, and I don't have any more information for you. I'm sorry I couldn't help though.
Okay, why are you acting like that? I'm just asking a question.
I just got here, I haven't had my coffee. It's just been a long morning, but I don't have any info.
Okay.
There are several moments our detectives use as downtime, processing clues, thinking on the case, and this is one such moment. Just dudes chillin'. Mexican short round playing with a balloon, Greg missing his cabin home, and Jimmy admiring his gun. But soon enough, their downtime is interrupted by a call.
Hello? Ma'am, I agree that's weird what your husband's doing, but that's not a crime. Did you think maybe he has a hobby? That he just wants to put on a nice puppet show for the kids? We kinda need some more of them. Ma'am, I'm not a divorce lawyer. I cannot give you advice on how to make your husband like you. Hey, I'm sorry. Until your husband does something illegal, I'm gonna need you to stop calling me. I'm not your therapist. I gotta solve actual cases. That was some lady who was complaining about her husband not giving her enough attention and building puppets.
I mean, puppet making's a serious business.
Wait, our case involves puppets at crime scenes, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, no way. This isn't good, Greg. This belonged to Mr. Potato Head.
Oh no. What happened to Mr. Potato Head? Oh, what is that right there?
Together we rise, we break the chains
Puta.
of doubt.
Get
With
that, would you?
hearts so loud. Chasing dreams that paint the world in colors yet unknown. We will stand proud. Every step we take ignite for deep inside, unleash the light. Hand in hand we journey.
Now, a little explanation is warranted here since I have your attention. Mexican Short Round had a strange ability that he refused to talk about. A hat. Not just any hat. A hat that gave him the power of flight. Here we see the detectives desperately seeking some downtime to stay sharp. They sit in a back room of the bar discussing their various interests.
Listen, I know that you hate Gothar, but the Elder Gods are just the same thing as him. In fact, they're more corrupt. They're not even gods. What they expect Gothar to become after betraying him, and the main character, who's just a reincarnation, from a plot that they made to kill the original god and take his power.
I don't know. Really, the only kind of lore I keep up with is Geo and how he tried to kill up all of the cliff racers. That's pretty much all I do. I just kind of run around and do bullshit.
Makes sense. I think that Outlanders really don't like Morrowind because they don't know how to make Kwama eggs. Because the best part about Kwama eggs is knowing that Outlanders don't know how to make them. They're not allowed anything nice in this life.
But, you know, they're kind of like cut off from the entire rest of the world. Like, the only reason why you're stuck in this Morrowind area and you can't go beyond is because the Imperials and stuff are just kind of like distance themselves from Morrowind because of their slave trade and just general bad practice.
Well, that and there's a whole plague going around, too.
Oh, yeah, the Ash Plague.
Yep, that really doesn't help. Ugh. You know, I don't know about you, but I think that the Sly 4, what really wasn't all that good. They could have done a lot better stuff with it. I miss the old music designs. I also miss, I don't know, the plot, the plot just got lost. Instead of them being kind of serious, like the first 3 games, they tried to crack a bit too many jokes here and there. I wasn't as compelled with the villains as I was with the previous 3. It could just be me getting a bit older. It also didn't make sense to have Millie betray them. I think that Sly 4 would have just been better with getting Sly out of retirement somehow. Or maybe just have another member of his father's original gang appear, kind of like the 3rd one. It turned out the main villain was his father's, I guess, brains, who was that monkey guy who turned out to be wicked strong.
Yeah, no, I've never played Sly 4. I've heard a lot about it, but I only go as far as Sly 3, which I think is the best in the series. But Sly 1 has the best characters and designs.
Sly 2 has my favorite boss theme when you fight Dimitri. I prefer the game player style of the second one. I do like the 3rd one, but something about the second one and how the boss fights played out was really interesting to me. That being said, of course, the 3rd really is good.
Yeah, I really like the pickpocketing mechanic and the general open worlds.
Well, that and how they're recruiting an entire team to unlock his father's original vault from the Monkey Man. It's sad what happened to that monkey guy. He was actually the same guy who was the Connecticut chimp that ripped off that lady's face.
Yeah.
He was one of the first victims of bath salts, actually.
Yeah, that happens. When you find salt in bath, the thing's gonna happen.
Yeah, you know, you just look at bath salts and you just think, you know what, I want to smoke these. And then bad things happen after that.
Oh yeah, no, we went real crazy when we decided that poop and pee were good ways to get high. You know, we really fell down the hole on that one.
Yeah, it did make sense in Sly 4 that they were just encouraging pro-urine therapy propaganda. I don't understand why the creators added that in. That was just really weird. Have they not seen the Facebook groups of urine therapy? How every one of them just has infected eyes because there's no therapy with urine. What?
Yeah. Now I imagine the thing that your body tries to get rid of is probably not good for your body.
It's really not. That's why we had sanitariums. Actually, that would have been a really good Sly 4, that he finds one remaining member of his father's crew who can help him find out certain secrets about his family, and they're just in this sanitarium, and it's about breaking into it to get him out, but also just figuring out a bunch of lore about why he was in the sanitarium in the first place. That could have been pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be interesting.
Yeah. If only they made good games like that to this day. But I feel like we'll be getting back to that point eventually. Everyone's sick of the current triopoly of video games. Microsoft's about to tank. Sony's just run by a bunch of idiots who don't realize that no one likes the DEI for social justice crap that Sony America has been forcing into all their products. Not to mention they have 0 games. Nintendo's doing alright. They did finally realize, hey, we can't just be strictly a children's game company. Because what made Nintendo great was when they started having more adult games like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, Doom, of course, classic Resident Evil remake for the GameCube. That's just unbeatable.
Yeah. No, I think the problem with today's games is not all that. I think the problem is that they've fallen into too much of a status quo and they're not trying to shake it up. The same thing with the movie industry. It's like they're too scared to make something that's different and new. that they just make the same shooters 500 times and be like, oh, look at our realistic graphics, rather than is it actually interesting to look at?
Yeah, is it actually interesting to play? Can you be enveloped in this world?
That's
Are the characters talking like real life people, or are they talking like some DeviantArt fanfic?
Sorry for the janky edit. Again, we ran out of money. Suddenly, the door breaks down. The town's drifter, foaming at the mouth, comes in, ranting and raving, saying, "We've all been here before. We all are on the strings of the master. This thing the department has invited in isn't supposed to be here. If you knew it, it would break your mind." So, the detectives grab him in frustration, throwing him to the ground and dragging him out of the bar, tossing him through the exit. He stands in the parking lot yelling about cobras and monkeys, claiming he knows karate, and they will all... Now, Babusa was an interesting woman in the town. She was married to a prominent figure in the Heatherwood community. She fled the east in search for a better life, and yet found herself in a town where she received anything but that. She has a particular quirk where she wouldn't go anywhere without her cat, Babastis Babushka, a very interesting, fearless cat that seemed to know more about what's going on than her humans, and yet carried on unfazed and in a uncaring disposition.
I heard you got some tips. Can you fill me in on them, please?
Yes, my husband has been acting very strange. He prefer dolls over me. He's been locking himself in the basement, playing with these dolls, talking to them. I don't know what to do.
How long has this been going on?
It's been a couple of months. He's also in law enforcement. I feel like he has gotten too close to the crimes that are happening in Heatherwood Hills. There's been things like tuning forks and all these dolls laying around, and it seems like he's another person entirely.
Alright, detectives, I'm Coroner Taylor. Let's go over some interesting findings from both the human and puppet bodies. We've found multiple anomalies, one of which is there with you now. The skull before you was found with a small hole in the back of it. The weight wasn't right, so we sawed it open, finding the Tickle Me Elmo arm inside. As if this wasn't bizarre enough, it prompted me to do some research. I went through several archives because this seemed to ring a bell of a campus rumor I heard in med school. After hours of digging, I finally found it. One of the women who ran the campus in the 20s was the wife to an eccentric billionaire who funded the school's construction. He supposedly collected relics from long-dead civilizations we've never even heard of. One thing he was obsessed with was opening a door to an entity's realm he called Leviathan, something he endlessly scribbled about in his journals. One of the rituals he funded used the actual first nuclear detonation that predates the government's bomb, and supposedly that's where the Fed got their scientists from. In the ritual, they loaded a baby into a cylinder and detonated the bomb in hopes to create what he called the Golem Seed, a creature infused with something from the other side, able to open this door at will without them having to split an atom, and not be able to approach the site before the door shut again. This would mean the child would be enslaved and taught to open the doorway whenever they wanted. Unfortunately, the journals stop there. But one thing I wanted to bring up is that the rituals further back in the journal specifically state that they were putting doll parts in their victims' skulls, somehow animating the dolls to do their will. Gentlemen, I think this is what you're dealing with. Something from the early days of this organization has survived. It's up to you to stop it.
As I touched the skull, flashes of strange images plagued me. What was I doing here? Is the department using me? Is this the superpower Mexican short round sensed on me after the raid injury? Some kind of speaking to the dead? Am I psychic? I have to unravel this. But we had one last crime scene to visit. Perhaps it'll hold a clue, and hopefully put an end to this nightmare.
Jimmy's superpower is that he's psychic, from the explosion of the cult's compound, of course.
What kind of sick fuck makes a trash hole? What disgusting monster made this?
The Moonlight Motel. The trash hills.
The Moonlight Motel.
Why don't you just go to the motel?
Hey, trash boy. You missed the spot. Fuck this. Greg, I got some shit to do. I'll catch up with you later. Go do whatever and we'll reconvene.
You mean well?
So many thoughts swirling that night. The rude detective working a second job at the lounge. The words Mexican Short Round said to me. The commitment I had to this case. All while knowing the department would throw us out again once this was all wrapped up. It angered me. But Detective Blake was right. We needed to go to the Moonlight Motel.
Seeing anything. Might be some clues around. Give me a second, I have to go take a leak.
Yuck. Oh, dearest Gregory, do you have any Clorox wipes?
Cut. Get back in there. What are you doing? Get back in there!
No. Ah! Boy! Boy! Don't worry. You'll make it out of here. You'll make it out. I'm so glad we got out of that.
Where's Short Round? No. How did we get out of that?
We had a Good Samaritan.
Detective Jimmy, I know you. Let me explain though. Ever since the cold raid at the compound, I've been seeing strange pillars of smoke.
That's weird. What the heck is going on there?
And, you know, one of them let me heal to you. You know, I'm a firefighter, so that's what I'm here for, to help.
I could tell them 1,000,000 times. But I'm just the fucking outcast. Someone who's seen too much. Perceived as fucking crazy. Who the fuck's crazy now? It's gonna take a while for those wounds to heal, boys. Yeah, you've cut the puppet strings. But I didn't hear any fucking door close.
Oh, hi. I'm your director, Seth. A few things to note. The tuning fork was a clue that was found on the roof that was connected to Agent Seth through the Babushka's interview. So that's how that happened. That's all wrapped up. Now, John has been seeing strange pillars of smoke ever since the raid of the cult compound. And he's been seeing them for years, day to day. And one day he decided to follow it. And that's how he found them and saved them. And yeah, that's about it. Also, I have run out of money for the narrator, illustrator, and any more voiceover work. So this is an illustration I did of John seeing the pillars of smoke, just so you kind of understand. He's been seeing these for 8 years. So that's about it. Well, let's get back to the boys. They're very beat up from the puppet injuries, so let's check on them.
You awake, brother?
I am now. I really need a cigarette.
You sure? In your condition?
I need something to cool the nerves. What? Not like it's gonna kill me any quicker.
Our nerves are more plenty cooled.
I don't even know what the hell that means. So this Leviathan entity tried to gain access to our dimension. He used a man as a failed iteration. That man goes on to get some weird power to animate dolls, uses the dolls to commit a bunch of heinous murders. But to what end? It's all a mess. The evil, the loss, the unending loss. And who is that man with the camera?
I don't know. I think that's just the brain damage talking to my friend, but I understand what you're talking about, and I respect it.
I just wish I knew all the answers, you know?
We all do wish we did.
Hey amigos, I'm okay, yo. It's great up here. Keep a lime in your Corona, and I'll see you soon, ese.
Mi hijo.
Oh, okay.
And there we have it. A tidy conclusion to our story. The bad guy has stopped, Mexican Short Round is in a better place, giving Jimmy hope, and Greg can go heal at his peaceful cabin. Nice and coherent.
So a Leviathan creature tried to come to our world from his dimension.
That was amazing.
Jimmy wasn't doing anything, just got off the wheelchair, so just kept moving.
That sucked.
We need to go to McDonald's and watch the Wiggles, ese.
Scene, Greg is at the Calypso manufacturing facility, take 2.
Freeze! You're running an illegal Calypso Recruitment! Fuck you.
I didn't count, but I think that's it. 15 on the other thing. One arm or 2 arms involved? Like.
I'm gonna zoom in on your face, hold on, because I gotta make sure everything is,
I woke up about 3 hours late. I need to go pick up Greg now.
What's going on, everybody? I just want to let y'all know about this movie I'm a part of. It's called False Hawks. Go check it out. I'll post links on my story and on my wall. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all the support. Bye-bye.
Film me now?
We are rolling now.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, how you guys doing? It's John Tent, aka John. Little googly eyes, and in some cases, an entire arm of a puppet.
I know I am. I'm just giving this. Alright, you're good. You got one. Alright, run on this side of the room so we don't die.
Alright, it's loaded. Is everybody out from the door frame? And it is recording.
It is. Action.
Alright.
the read.
Okay, that's it. Peek back there. Come on, seriously, Greg, take a peek back there.
Yeah, that's good, Dougie.
Some are really old, like wall things too.
Do you want to reset because you were right there and then you walked in? Is that this? We're doing that thing? Dude, be careful.